Welcome to Rauta, I am Jerry, and today I will talk you a little bit about Steelfest 2024, how to get there, what to take care of, and what to consider when you're traveling outside of Finland to get to this gathering of wolves, as the saying goes. Of course, we'll take a quick look at the updated list of the bands that are going to perform there, since when I did the preview video for the festival for the first couple of times actually, talking about the first announcements and then updated info, there has been some updates to the ones, and of course we need to discuss that briefly, but mostly I will focus on the actual things that you need to consider since you already know a lot about the bands and all that. So let's do it without too much introduction and all that stuff. Now pretty much everybody knows that the headliners are Nocturnal Mortal from Ukraine. Let's keep thumbs up that the war doesn't stop them to playing here for the first time, since they've been announced for a couple of times before, and well, there has been challenges to get them on Finnish ground. Inquisition will do their comeback to Steelfest. I mean, they already visited here a couple of years ago when I did the extra lengthy interview with them, and they're gonna play some new tunes since they have a new album out by the time of the festival event. Blasphemy will also return to Finland after so many years of break, and that will be one of the more interesting bands to a lot of old school black death metal heads here. And Gorgoroth finally being one of the active bands, always delivering good shows and all that stuff. Personally seen them quite a few times with, I think, at least 3 different vocalists, but it's always good, so it's gonna be more than welcoming here. Now, on top of that, we have, of course, interesting shows like Rauta, which is not that common in Finland. Dead Hemskard, which was supposed to play in at Steelfest last year, is now coming, and they also have a rather new album out. Horror will be doing 3 interesting sets. That is 3 different vocals celebrating the 30 years of activity, and it's going to be very, very different because it's exclusive set. It's not something that you see every day, probably never again. So all 3 different Horna vocalists doing all 3 different sets on 3 different days, of course. So it's going to be very, very special. Mr. Ming will come from Iceland. It's going to be cool seeing them again. Kraft, which I totally enjoyed a couple of years ago, more like 5 years ago, is going to play on Finnish ground again, and that's more than very, very interesting to me. White Death has a new album out since December, so always, of course, expecting a good show. Their previous show was, I guess, for a lot of people, very, very memorable because of the crucifixion and all that stuff. So, of course, we're very, very interested to see what happens this time. Overmod is going to play here first time ever, as far as I know, and personally very stoked about that as well. Sarkrista is coming back after 2 years, and they played very few show last time as well, so definitely interested in that as well. Eternus I saw at Bergen, delivering some old school death metal or death black, depending how you want to view them, and they also have a new album out, so it's gonna be interesting in that sense. Vader is coming for the first time, as far as I remember, to Steelfest. Seen them a couple of times in the past. They are the death metal veterans from Poland. You're not gonna wanting to miss in case you like death metal in the first place. Anti-Materia, which I got to see like first time a couple of years ago at Steelfest, maybe 3 years ago, I don't know. I liked it a lot, so I'm definitely interested to see them again. And Streed, the Norwegian underground classic band, is coming here, which is going to be also something special, at least for me. Never seen them live before. Ifrinak is doing also, I think, their first time in Finland, so it's one of those bands I want to definitely put my ears on as well. Would probably make no sense if I went all the list, but if you see at the list like Greek, Acherondas, Denial of God from Denmark, doing comeback here, Vedibun's End coming here to play another show. They were supposed to be present with Dead Hemskard last year. Ragnarok is coming back here since 2016. Commander Agaris is playing here. Misery Lumini is from Canada. It's going to be interesting. Inferno, there are lots of bands. If I recall correctly, this is one that's from the Czechia, but correct me if I'm wrong. Then we have Devlachnian, Egris, Barathrum, a regular visitor, by the way. Death Chain doing their comeback show, one of the comeback shows. Corpses playing death metal from Finland. We have Thornspawn, Chamber of Unlight, Torso, Fuck, Cadaver Incubator, Maras, Black Alder, and still some few more announcements. So all in all, this has quite an interesting amount of death metal bands, or even death grind in the form of Torso, Fuck, doing their stuff. So it's going to be interesting in the sense that this is not too much black metal only, and that is, Steelfest has never been that much black metal only. There always been thrasher acts or death metal focusing acts and all that stuff, but still we could roughly say at least 2/3 of the bands are more or less black metal and so forth. Anyway, really interesting list, and if you go this down to the list, you will see more information here where the names dropped, and you will get to figure out the countries of origin, etc. So you get to see where they're from, like I said, from Czechia and all that stuff. Now, what you really need to know when coming from outside of the Finland is how to get there, what to really consider. First of all, of course, you need flights. Well, getting to Helsinki isn't too complicated because that's very much the basic airport where you get in case you're traveling outside Finland. Simple said, you get to Helsinki and then you get to Hyvinkää, where the Steelfest is located. And here it says, Festival Town Hyvinkää. It's conveniently located 30 to 55 minutes north of Helsinki. This 30 to 55 depends on which way you're gonna go there. Taking a train from Helsinki railway station is the easiest, and you really get, like in many cities, take some kind of an airport bus or train from the airport to the city central, and there you are at the main railway station where you can get a local train to Hyvinkää, which takes about, well, 30 minutes, give or take. It's relatively cheap, so you don't have to invest a massive amount of money to get from the airport to the railway station and then get to Hyvinkää. We're talking about very low amount of money in essence. But of course you need to consider where you want to be accommodated, and that is something which, well, depends where you're gonna go. Now here is the information for train and all that information which you need to probably check out depending where you're gonna stay at. Now of course it's possible to stay in Helsinki and travel each day back and forth between Hyvinkää. Time-wise, it doesn't really make sense, because when you have to go back and forth between Hyvinkää and Helsinki, it's gonna take that 30 to 60 minutes, depending daytime, nighttime, whatever. And of course, there will be waiting time, and you know, getting accommodated in Helsinki is not exactly cheaper than at Hyvinkää. Or in Hyvinkää. In Hyvinkää there are a couple of hotels which probably are more or less booked by now. There might be some free rooms, I don't know. And of course there are some Airbnb possibilities. Now frequent visitors have always booked those Airbnb places rather quickly. That's like what we have done for years. So you might be a little bit late to the party in case you're just booking your accommodation and flights right now, but it's possible, so I urge you to give it a go. Another option is going to one of the nearby cities where you really can get those Airbnb and whole rooms for a rather nice price, and traveling from places like Järvenpää to Hyvinkää takes something like 5 to 10 minutes maybe, plus whatever you need to walk. So in essence, it might be really easy to find a place of accommodation for another rather nice place, Airbnb or hotel, with some like 30 minutes to go. I personally would go with that rather than going to Helsinki, from which it takes more time to get to Hyvinkää than otherwise. But of course, you decide for yourself. And here are mentioned, like Järvenpää is 15 minutes by train. I was thinking it's more like 10 minutes, but okay. Kerava, 20 minutes. Tikkurila, 25 minutes. So these are, of course, other possibilities which to consider in case places in Hyvinkää are already taken. Now, like here it says, Hyvinkää railway station is only 500 meters from the festival gates. So once you're in Hyvinkää, there's only like, I don't know, 10 minutes walk to the festival area. So that's another good thing to go. Now, on top of festivals and all that stuff, you will find all the information related here, and whatever you need to do, like get your tickets and get your accommodation and all that stuff. Now, there used to be, I'm still assuming it's for this year as well, there used to be this camping place possibility. So even though it's not mentioned maybe here, at least it used to be possible previous years. I don't know, I couldn't see it here anyway. But like I said, there are plenty of possibilities because there are those small cities nearby in case you cannot find one in Hyvinkää. Now, Finnish prices, well, depending where you come from. If you're coming from Norway or Iceland, it feels cheap. If you're coming from other parts of the world, it might feel a little bit more expensive. But that again depends on your budget. So make sure you have your budget for the ticket, for the flights, for the hotel, then some drinks, merchandise, food. Food is pretty much the normal price around any kind of these kind of events. So of course, well, consider that you have enough money so that you will enjoy actually the thing. Now, what happens at Steelfest is that the area itself is not too big. There is one main stage outside, and then there is one which is inside a hall. And traveling between these two places takes like 2 minutes, 1 minute maybe. I don't know. If you crawl, 5. And on the outside, there is also a bunch of benches. There are benches and, you know, toilets, the food places, food court if you call it, few places to buy your drinks from, and that's pretty much of it. The area is quite cozy. It's quite small for a festival, especially if you're used to bigger ones, you know, like the kind of walk-in open air things. This is not a vast area. It's actually very, very nicely done, cozy area where you're easy to bump your friends and even artists, celebrities, whoever, and of course, you will feel like a lot of like-minded people. Now, there's some expectations from people who have never been to Steelfest, who will always get the feeling, okay, so it's gonna be some kind of a weird party for extreme political people. But let's get the facts straight. Yeah, there are always few, but that also applies to all kind of festival. Most people are here for the music, drinks, and friends. And it's not some kind of a circle jerk meeting like some people want to think it is. But those people are probably just making up excuses in order not to go there. And sometimes it's just, you know, people who are, I don't know, jealous of other people enjoying festivals and live music. So in case you're one of those internet warriors, don't even bother commenting, because nobody else but your best pals are gonna believe that bullshit. Just get your facts straight. And if you have some decent questions, of course, I will answer you, whether it's about the getting to festival and what you really need to know, like basic facts and all that stuff. But apart from this basic information, you can find everything here at Steelfest's website, and you can see, of course, see the lineup and all. So that's pretty much you need to know. Since Steelfest is about 4 months away, roughly, give or take, less than that, I would say if you're coming outside Finland, get your tickets as fast as possible, because you need to book, you know, accommodation and flights and all that stuff. And the prices will go up as usual, dynamic pricing. But like I said, if you have questions, I'm here to help. And of course, join Rauta Discord for more daily conversations, where we can also go throughout the details and whatever you need to know. And if I can help, I will. And other than that, go to steelfest.fi site for more information to dig, and you should probably, if you're using Facebook, follow Steelfest on Facebook as well for more recent information, updated information and all that stuff, in case there are some bands that gonna be replaced by something else and all that stuff. And also the late announcements, since there are still a few bands unannounced. Now, off you go. Check out some of the music before you get to the festival. You might find some nice surprises, because I doubt everybody knows all the bands here. There are even some bands that I haven't heard. Not too many, but some, which I probably need to get my ears and brain updated with that. Now, off you go, and hope to see you at Steelfest. If you see me there, come pull me by the sleeve and say hello. Now, this is Rauta, this is Jerry, and I bid you a good day with metal. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, we have a Steel Chaos 2020 DVD as a giveaway to these video commentators. So one among you, about, let's say, a week from this video when it comes out, comment about Steelfest video and whatever questions included, and you have the chance to win this Steel Chaos 2022 DVD recording of the whole event. So looking forward to hear from you, and maybe you will win it. Now off you go, and thank you for your time. Bye bye.